Welcome back to another episode of the DNC Reviews podcast. I'm Arjun, as you know. We also have Ronan with us here today. Sadly, Hosan cannot make it. He has other things to do, and we respect that because, it's second semester junior year. Everyone's on their grind, so if you got something to do, then DNC can wait, So, yeah, cool. Today is a pretty special review. It's an album that's not really widely known, but it's an album that has stuck with me and Ronan for quite a while. It's a pretty personal album. We thought it would be a good idea to give our thoughts on it and share it out to the world because it just deserves that kind of praise. It is Caress Your Soul by the Australian reggae band Sticky Fingers. So let's just, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's just go over favorite, least favorite tracks.
All right. Favorites for me.
Go ahead, man.
I mean, I'll be honest, it might be a little basic for like diehard Sticky Fingers fans, but it might be How to Fly. I like These Girls. Bootleg Rascal. What else? I think Kiss the Breeze is nice. And my least favorite, Let It All Out. Maybe Clouds and Cream, just because they kind of mix reggae with like emo rock and like something like it's like too hard to be reggae to me for that song, and I don't know, but that didn't work for me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. My list is pretty much the exact same. I love How to Fly. My favorite track though is probably Laika, which is track 8. They have like those like marimba xylophone tones that are like hella reverb on it in the chorus, and as it builds up, it's so sick. Kiss the Breeze is really, really nice. The bass work on that song is amazing. My least favorite song, I agree with Clouds and Cream, but I also don't really like Freddy Krabs for some reason.
Oh, okay.
It just doesn't really.
I got you.
It doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, out of 11 tracks, like this is a really solid offering. I mean, any opening thoughts?
Yeah. So when I first heard this album, honestly, I didn't hear about this album from your friend that like told you about it. I actually heard it from you. And when I first heard it, I was like, this isn't really my kind of vibe. Like, I never listened to reggae. So I was like, I don't know if this is for me. But when I played How to Fly, I was flying. I was like, I don't know, something clicked in me. Like, I never heard something like this. And I instantly knew this is reggae, and this is good reggae, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that it's the first song of, I think it's their first album, is just perfect. How to Fly, the way that it opens with those guitar chords like dun, 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 and then like the drum work, like the drums are so nicely compressed and they're so punchy that it just makes the song really, really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
And when you think of an Australian reggae band, you're probably like, I have no idea what I'm about to hear, but that song, I agree, is a perfect introduction to this kind of genre. But I think one of the most underrated songs on this album is Australia Street, and then I didn't like it until it built up to the chorus, and the way that this guy sings like in Tropical Heat, and he like extends that note, that melody hits so hard, it's like almost emotional.
Just look at the cover, man. Like, it's just all fun. Everything is fun. Nothing serious. We're not talking about... I mean, he does talk about issues with partners and stuff, but it's not heavy stuff like trapping in the streets, came from nothing and now I'm succeeding, stuff like that. No, it's just the boys and we're just talking about our own problems.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's perfect. That's a perfect description.
I don't know why, but I kind of looked at their YouTube videos. I love like their like performances they do. It's like... I think they do them like in the middle of the forest and stuff. And also, if you're gonna listen to How to Fly, you gotta watch the music video. The lead singer, he's just like bopping his head. It's like, what's going on? And then like the bass drops and he starts singing. Man,
These Girls, like that song is like, that rhythm is like infectious. That song is really, really nice.
Especially the solo guitar section. When he goes,
yes, sir.
Yo.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
And even for the songs that we don't like some of the faults I find with like Clouds and Cream and Freddy Krabs is that they follow the same formula as the other songs, but sometimes they go a little bit too far or they come up a little bit too short to stay in line with the rest of the songs, and they feel sort of like awkward, or the choruses feel a little bit like forced in a way, but that doesn't necessarily make them bad songs. I just think that compared to all of like the hits on this album, they don't exactly hit as hard. If people just give this album a chance and not judge it off of the words Australian reggae, which we did before, you're gonna have a really good time listening to this. I think that each of these songs hold like a really strong place in my heart, and I think that over time, like the first year I was listening to it, I'm like, this is cool, add it to the playlist, whatever. And over the years, I wouldn't add it to the playlist. I would just listen to like the album.
Yeah.
I just like I just put on you some good headphones, some high quality headphones, and just give this a listen. Put it on shuffle if you have to. There's no disrespect when it comes to shuffling this album, and you can just float. Yeah. And it's not like we always bring this up. It's not like some Uzi Travis like, oh, I'm floating type stuff, you know? Like when you're floating here, it's like you're not going all the way up. You're like there. You go from here to there. But like that transition, mind blowing.
Oh, and even when it's on a shuffle, on like a playlist, when that song comes on by Sticky Fingers, like you click the song, you check the song, it's Australia Street. It's like, oh, yo, it's Sticky Fingers. Let's get ready.
Yeah. Also, like the name of the band, Sticky Fingers, might be like misleading. It might be like, ew. Yeah, exactly. Ew. Like I don't want to listen to that. Yeah. But the music is like completely opposite to what their name is. If you can get past all of that surface level stuff and you really dig deep and you give yourself an opportunity to truly listen to this album, you will not regret it.
Yeah. Would you say that Sticky Fingers, I feel like they've also implemented a little bit of indie in themselves as well as they progress in music?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, just the guitar work and like the punchiness of the drums just makes it like the only thing that relates them to actual reggae is like the groove and the bounce. Yeah. But all of their actual guitar work and their inclusion of like solos and stuff like that, and just their singer's voice. Can we talk about the lead singer's voice? Yeah. Australian accent, really like raspy, but not too much rasp or it's like annoying.
His name is like Dylan Frost.
Dylan Frost, beautiful voice. It just works so perfectly with all of the songs, and it's just like if anyone's watching this, just listen to this album. Sticky Fingers, Caress Your Soul, amazing.
And this guy, if you look at him, just a vibe. I mean, you know our mutual friend that we've been talking about, he is low-key looking like this guy. The last time I saw him, I was like, okay, he's kind of stealing. He's kind of copying his style, and he's got. I mean, some people might just say he just looks like a druggie because he's got a little pedo stash, moshy hair, but it's a vibe to me, man. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Fun
stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're gonna close it off. So yeah, this album's great. I think that we do give out a lot of positive reviews on this channel, but I mean, what can we say? We just listen to really good music. We try to experiment as much as possible, but usually we think very highly of what people put out. When there are major faults with projects, we do make sure to point those out to the viewers, because that's sort of the point of this, to get people to give people recommendations and help them explore new music. And I think that in terms of exploring new music, this is as far left as you can go. It's an Australian reggae band. It's 11 songs. It's only 39 minutes, and there isn't one song that is horrible. All songs are above a 6, which is pretty good. 6 is a positive score. Do I recommend listening to this album? Like 110%. I think it's one of the best albums I've ever heard. I know I say that a lot for a lot of albums, but it's just really great. It's a great listening experience. And you can't really go wrong with a first listen, and I pretty much guarantee that there will be a second listen if you give it a shot. So with all that being said, I mean, I don't want to give it a 10, and I have to be realistic with my rating. I don't want to let my personal attachment to this album skew the rating, but I'm going to give this album a solid 8.
Alright, so for me, I think it's we both agree that it's a really good album. and maybe that's not to do with the quality and actually the depth with the album, but just because it's so different. Like if it's since this album has like no specific genre, it's like, for example, if we were talking about a hip hop album that we like really loved, even if we really liked it, we know that there are all these like Mount Rushmores of hip hop albums that we have to compare it to it when we were gonna give a high score, like an 8, 9, or 10, right? But this album, I don't know, I've never heard of an album anything like it. So, and especially a band like Sticky Fingers, a name like Sticky Fingers, we never heard anything like it. So it's like every time we come across this album, it's like, oh, this is the album right here. Like, this is it. When you listen to it, you'll never hear anything like it before, so it's always going to have a special place in you. So for me, I don't want to also put my personal bias on it as well. I will say that maybe it could have had a little more bangers to it. Like some of these songs are so good that they kind of outshine the others, so maybe a little more consistency, I would say. But for me, I'll give the same score as Arjun, so 8 out of 10.
Yeah, so there you have it. Sticky Fingers album review. DNC is everywhere. We're like around 120-ish subscribers. We're trying to get 200 by 2022, which is graduation year.
Yeah,
so.
And I mean, I think my school interviewed me about DNC. So if you came to this video from that interview, thanks for watching the video. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you didn't screw that interview up.
Yeah. Coming soon. I don't think it's out right now when we're recording this. Yeah.
Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that the more exposure that this has, the more viewers we'll get, and the higher possibility that people will enjoy it, you know? It's the rule of large numbers. So yeah, DNC reviews, we're everywhere. We're trying to get some more subscribers. We're trying to build this fan base. And if you want us to listen to your music, DM our Instagram, where we respond to all DMs. Yeah, we're everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts, we will probably be there. And if not, you can hit us up and yell at us. Sticky Fingers, alternative / Australian reggae / indie / like post-rock psychedelic album. Caress Your Soul, 2013 release. The review is now over. Thank you so much and goodbye.